Rita Bruni, and I'm working for Human.technology Styria, which is one of the organization that is behind the Desire project. And this webinar is just an informative webinar to let you understand what are those RPBC plans that you have to fill, and how to fill them. And if you have any question, this is the right moment to ask. So I hope also that you already have those RPBC plans. In case you don't have the template, no worry. Just ask to your mentors again. They have them, and they will share them with you. And I would like to start first with a little explanation on when you have to submit those RPBC plans. Those RPBC plans must be submitted with the final report, which it's depending on your sub-grant agreement. You agreed with it with your mentors, and you can find the dates of the final report on the sub-grant agreement. I start sharing the template. Let's see if I find it. Okay, it was closed. Eccoci. Can you see them? Yes,
Yes.
yes, perfect. So what are those RPBC plans? Those RPBC plans, RPBC stands for Resilience, Preparedness, Business Continuity. And these templates should be used as an educational tool in order to raise awareness about this important tool. As you most probably know, the Desire project is co-funded by the European Union. And since COVID happened, the European Union is putting a strong focus on resilience, since they would like to avoid that a time of crisis disrupt completely the value chains, as already happened with COVID. Therefore, the European Union is helping and is giving tools to the companies, mainly also to the small ones, so the startups and the SMEs, for creating resilience. One of the tools that the European Union prepare are those RPBC plans. And here, I'm here to so the Desire project, the Desire partners are providing you with a template to help you building resilience, to think about what can go wrong, because it's nice, it's everybody thinks that everything will be fine and okay, but it's also very important to be ready in case of crisis. So for this, we prepared this template. I will go through the template, I would say quite quickly. If you have any question, please stop and answer. So the plans, so what you will see is this. You can change here and put the name company, contact name, contact of the company, and so on. And here it's important to keep this review log updated. When you start preparing those RPBC plans, those RPBC plans are not something fixed, are something that must be always updated to the moment of for example, the size of the company, to the moment of the company, and also to the responsible people. It can happen that the responsible people changes, and so here you can keep track on this. Okay, and here a first page of explanation why what are those RPBC plans and why are they important. And okay, here the table of contents, but we will go through, so we will not see them. So those plans consist of different sections, as you may notice already from the table of contents, and those sections are structured always in the same way. So there is a little bit of context, so exactly what is this section about. There is a instruction explaining you how this section should be filled, and an example. Very easy. This example can be taken as a, let's say, template for your answer, but you can just also just delete it and write over. Ideally, you delete everything and you start writing what you think is important. See if I, okay. So the first section is the introduction and the overview. As you can see here, this first section must be filled with the purpose, the scope, and the objective of the RPBC plans. Depending on the type of your company, what your company is doing, there might be a different reason why you are doing a resilience, preparedness, business continuity plan. And therefore, here is the section where to explains why this RPBC plan is done. And here you can find an example. And usually, so generally speaking, the RPBC plan is done in order to ensure business continuity. The second section is document control and the response team. Here you have just to write who is the responsible person for the business continuity plan. So who is the one who can check, for example, who is the one that can update it, and who is the one that, for example, check when the this document must be taken and implemented. In some cases, you will see that there is a reference to a table in the appendices section. Those tables are just in case you want just to make life easier, but they are not mandatory, and they are so you can just ask them to your mentor and they will provide them. But for the final report, they are not mandatory, so you are also free to not use them if you don't need them. Then here, this is, I would say, one of the most important section, which is the risk identification and assessment. So this is, I would say, the core of the business continuity plan, because here you have to define clearly what is the risk that your company realistically might face. These, of course, again, here there are some examples, but depending of what your business is doing, the crisis, the risks might be different. And this can be really, I would say, everything. For example, here there is a cybersecurity threat. If your company is dealing with sensible data, this might be a threat that can be or a risk that can be forecasted, and this tool is here for make you feel ready to face this kind of crisis. Once the risk has been assessed, this section is the one where you have to clearly say what are the activation criteria to activate the plan. So For example, here there is another example. There is the example of the cybersecurity. The activation criteria for the RPBC plan in this case will be the detection of a cyber attack. And in case in case of you can measure these criteria, you can also add a threshold. Again, those are different examples that are not really related one to each other to let you understand all the different and all the types of risks that you might think about when thinking of a crisis that your company can face. Here we have the response action section. In this section, you have to write, you have to identify the activities that might be highly affected to the risk, to the crisis that you already indicated in the previous sections. And you also have to understand immediately what to do. How long does it take, or how long does it take to react, and also the acceptable time to react, and how much this activity has to be prioritized. Let's see again for the cybersecurity measured. In this case, the activation is immediately activate the incident responses. So there is an immediate activation of the response team that you already identified. The acceptable downtime is minimal, so you have to react immediately, and the prioritization is high because you cannot. So this is for example, one of the main things that your company is working on, and it must be prioritized. This is a follow-up of the previous section. So in the previous section, you identified the immediate reaction. Here you must identify what to do next. Here I still take the example of the cybersecurity. For example, what to do next. So after the activation of the team, in this case, you have to isolate the affected system and disconnect them from the network, for example. And that's basically it. The following section is dedicated to the resource identification and allocation. There are different types of resources that might be allocated. So personnel cost, financial cost, and facilities resources, for example, but you can also identify more again, basing on the need of your company. And in this section, you have to think what kind of resources you have and you need during a crisis. So, for example, you have to think if also you have the right personnel resources and where to allocate them. If you have financial resources, for example, to face a crisis, and in the case you don't have, that's where the RPBC plans it's very important. You have to think in advance. If you have, for example, financial resources, if you don't have, you make sure that you collect those you reserve some financial resources for facing a moment of crisis. The following section is related to the internal and external interdependencies, which basically means that you when your company is facing a crisis, this might affect it not only on the company itself, but also on other companies or other facilities, and the other way around. So, for example, if you have a external provider who has a time of crisis, so the service, for example, that this provider is giving you are not anymore available, um, you have to think if this is something important for the continuity of your company or not. Those are divided into internal and external independencies. And of course, in case you don't have any, or like for example, you don't have any interindependencies, you may also skip this section and just write that you don't see any um, risk related to this, for example. Um, Communication plan. The next section is about the communication plan, and is it divided into internal and external communication. So when a business is facing a time of crisis, it also is very important to have already a plan about how to communicate it, and who has to communicate it, and in which way. So which, for example, tool using for communicating. And the internal communication is directed to the employers or to the people that is working in the company, and you have to identify who the persons that are the people that are that needs to know, and how much do they need to know about the crisis, and in which way you communicate it. The same is for the external communication. External communication can be the supplier, the customer, or the media. So when you say to, for example, a customer that you are facing a time of crisis and how to say this and in which way, so which tool to use for communicate this. Of course, again, if you don't think that it is important for you to communicate a crisis to any external entities, you can also just delete this section and just write that you don't think that this is important for you, or you don't forecast anything related to this section. The next section is about monitoring and impact assessment. So, as a crisis is happening, it's also important to record and track what is happening, the timing, and what is impact during this crisis, in order to be even more prepared in case the same crisis is showing up again. This is also a very important thing to think about, in order to again be even more ready to face a crisis, and also to this is very important to learn from a crisis that is happening now. So this is actually not for prevent so for it's basically for preventing the next crisis. And here again some examples. um, Here, a section about environmental and welfare consideration. Um, this, of course, is more, it's thought more, for example, in case of a second pandemic, so a second COVID, as you may know that, for example, if one of your solution is to put all your team remote, and you have also to consider the impact that this solution affects, for example, your employees. Therefore, you can, for example, think to have ready a health or psychological or mental support for your employees. In order to also safeguard their health. And again, also, if you don't think that this is important for the crisis you are describing, then just skip also this section. The next session is about the recovery plans and the restoration. So till now, we spoke about the continuity of the of your business. Therefore, till now we tried with this plan to not interrupt the activities of your business. But fortunately, the crisis will end, and it's also important to have a recovery plan. So once the crisis is ended, you need to have a plan for restoring the normal activities. And again, here there are different examples that you can follow. And here is the follow-up of the previous section. So the activation. Basically, these are procedure that describes how to let's say close, shut down the business continuity plan response, and to completely resolve the crisis and resume the normal operation of your business. This section is about the training programs and the testing exercise. So once you prepare your RPBC plan, it's also important that the people that are involved in the resilience preparedness are also trained for this. And in this section, you have to write the training programs that you are forecasting or that you are actively taking for your employees. And of course, you can also write the texting exercise that you are planning. For example, you may think of, as you do, for example, with the fire emergency, that you simulate a crisis and you see if your RPBC plan is actually working, and if it's not working or if there is some improvements to do, you can always update it. This section is about the documentation and the accessibility, which this is a very easy section. So basically, you have to state here where you can find this document, if you can find this document only online, if you can find it offline, and in case you also would like to fill the additional tables, which are way easier to read than this full document. You can also state in this section where are those tables located, for example, in the office. And this is it. Then there are some conclusion, and as you can see here, you cannot find the tables that I was referring to at the moment, but if you would like to have them, please just ask them to your mentors, and they will provide them. Nonetheless, I remind again that those are not mandatory for the final report. So this is actually it. Do you have any question? Come on,
Yes,
coach.
please. Sorry, what did you just say? Did you say it's not mandatory or it's mandatory for the final report?
Not many question.
No, do you hear
Yes.
me? Yes?
No.
Do you hear me?
Sorry. I cannot. Oh, sorry. Hello. Sorry, I could not
Yeah.
hear you.
Is it okay now? Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So sorry, what did you just say at the end? Is it mandatory or is it not mandatory for the
These,
final report?
yes, these RPBC plan that I just show. Yes, it's mandatory.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, what I would like to underline is that this is an educational tool. Okay.
Mm.
You don't have to write a poem. You so you can really write also points. This is a way to raise awareness about what can you prevent, what can you forecast.
Yeah, because I mean, I understand that it is very important for our businesses. However, I mean, it's the first time I actually see this document. I was not aware that we had to fill this in for the final report, and even though I understand the importance of it, doing it good requires quite some time and some resources, and it's not necessarily something that we can do in the short term, given the resources we have.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you say, yeah, it's just an educational tool and an awareness tool, and indeed, I think it would be good indeed to at least identify the risks that we all have in our companies, but writing down all the mitigation plan and all the documentation to respond to those risks, I feel that this is a lot of work to do. And
Yes, I completely understand. The thing is that these plan are really asked by the European Union, and and the reason is because they want to raise awareness on this. They want
yeah,
to also show you how to make uh, this kind of plan, how to think about what can go wrong. And I understand that it might be a bit of work. Nonetheless, again, we are not expecting a poem or something extremely detailed,
mm,
but at least the effort of having thought, okay, what can go wrong? How we can um, face this? Of course, uh, of course, this might also be something that should be discussed not only with the employers or with the head of the company, but maybe you should also ask in a ideal world to someone external to help
well,
you. But of course,
that's
in
what I'm
this,
saying. I mean, it
I
requires
know,
some thinking to put this in
I
place.
know,
So, is it okay if, when in a report, that for the documentation related to a risk, for instance, we can say, okay, well, we don't have the documentation, but yet, but we have, at least we are aware of
exactly.
being
Uh,
a risk, and yeah.
yeah, I would say I would really highly suggest only this. Also because again, I understand that the resources are limited for everybody in terms of time and also financial resources.
Mhm.
And again, we don't really expect something extremely detailed. Also because all the SMEs that we funded have kind of very different businesses. So it would be also very difficult for us to suggest you what is better for your company, the crisis that you might face, and so on. So it's really just a way to let you think about it
Mhm.
and to write down something that might be realistic. Then this is so what is mandatory is to fill this document. It's not mandatory to implement it. Okay, I mean, we will not check if you implement it or not. That's what I also want to say.
Thanks.
Are there any other questions?
Yeah,
There's a
sorry.
question in the chat
Ask.
also where we can find the template, Margarita.
Exactly.
Yes, the template, you can ask to your mentors to provide you with the template. They should have them in any should have it. In any case, if it's also helpful for the mentors, I can also send the template after the webinar. So in any case, by email.
Yeah, if you can provide that directly to the,
Yes, yes, yes.
that would be nice. Thank
So
you.
after thank you. After the webinar, then I will send an email to the funded SMEs with the template. Yes, 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 yes. I will do it. I will send the template.
I have another question which is not completely related to that, but regarding the midterm report that we have to fill in, is this already open? Can we already submit it, or?
So this depends on when the your project started, because it's different from for every SMEs. You should have already had a meeting with your mentor, and you should have discussed with the mentor about the project start, about the midterm report duty due date, and the final report due date. If you don't remember, just ask to your mentor or check again the sub-grant agreement, because in one of the pages it's written, it should be written.
Yeah, but my understanding was that we had to submit that on the platform and that there was some space on that.
Yes.
So is the space already available, or?
For the, you mean for the, so the space for the midterm report,
Because
you
of
mean?
the midterm reports and the contracts that we had for the service vouchers and all of
So
that.
I'm not sure. That's what I want to say. I'm not sure if for your companies, for you, it's open, because I don't know exactly when is the due date for the interim report for you. Just check the subgrant agreement. If you should, in any case, receive an email from your mentor. The platform that we are using also for the midterm report and the final report is the Good Grants platform, where also you applied for the funding. And about the due date, again, ask to the mentor, because it's different for every company.
It should be open, Karin, it should be open 2 weeks up front of your midterm report due date, but we don't have that in mind, unfortunately, for all 35. So I guess that Eurobiomed, I think, is your mentor, right? So they could reach out to you.
Okay, thank you.
And they will send you the link.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, don't follow the link that is being sent to you, because every in the chat, because every meter report have a own link. No, no worry, but it's great that you wanted to help. Okay. Any other question also unrelated to the RPBC plans? Just take the chance of asking. If not, then I would like to thank you all for the attention. I hope it was helpful. I hope if in any case I'm still available for any other explanation or anything you need. Ask please also to your mentors in case you have any additional question. They can always reach me. and then see you to the next event. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, it will be recorded and shared. Yes. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.